Hey, what's going on, crypto people? Listen, what if I told you Ripple just made a move that connects XRP directly to Wall Street's playbook? And Flair is helping build the rails to make it happen on chain. This isn't a theory, fam. This is already happening. We're going to break it down in this live stream. I appreciate you guys checking in. Happy freaking Sunday. Yeah, happy Sunday to each and every one of you. It's very, very interesting. I had a very interesting back and forth with ChatGPT. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to share that with you. Wall Street, XRP, and Player. We're going to get into it. I just had a thought. I was doing some research on Bitcoin, on $1 million Bitcoin, doing some research on that. And yeah, I just had this thought, and I just thought, you know what? I don't know why I was thinking about Hidden Road and depository receipts. I think it was because one of the friends of the family was asking about my recent post on X where I did the video, and I mentioned how Flare was building out this D app for TradFi products to bring traditional or TradFi products to the digital asset XRP. And she asked me, could you do like a part 2 to show how it benefits FLR holders? Well, the long and short of how it benefits FLR holders is that a lot of this stuff is going to be built on the Flare networks, right? And so we're going to have an increasing DApp ecosystem, which means TVL, which means more wallets, which means more people using products, so demand for the native asset FLR, right? Prime example is, I think, this FAsset protocol is testing out right now on Songbird, thus Songbird is the collateral. But when V1.1 hits Flare, FLR is going to be the collateral. And FAssets, just like Hugo said, they're reaching their goal without the FAsset protocol. Do you understand? So in the end, I think a lot of people think that Ripple and Flare are competing with each other, and I would argue that they're not competing with each other. They're working together to complete each other. That's how I see it. What's going on, brother Crypto? Happy Sunday, my friend. Happy Sunday to you. So that's kind of how I see some things. That's what really the way I'm looking at it. I think that is the way that it is going to happen. Again, we're going to know soon. We already know he was talking at Apex 2025. We already know he's going to be talking about XRP staking. I don't know about any other kind of announcements. I really don't. I really don't know if there's going to be other kind of announcements. But if you think long term, Flare is building this amazing thing. And there's a major commitment and focus to bringing value to XRP holders. And it's obvious, but again, FAssets is just, it's not the biggest thing. It's in the top 10, but he was like, FAssets ain't the big thing. It ain't the big thing. And I think what is the big thing is what I discovered today and my back and forth with Rock about one particular TradFi product, which is depository receipts. Now, they call it depository receipts, but one traditional financial product. We're going to get into that. We're getting to back and forth with did I say Rock? With ChatGPT. I can't wait to share it with you guys. Listen, the market is doing what the market does. Bitcoin's over 105,000 at one time. But I got to tell you, I listened to 2 videos for Arthur Hayes today. And I saw one post from the Mr. Kruger guy on X. Yeah, he's a Bitcoin master, about this $1 million Bitcoin by 2028. Brother Crypto, it's being projected closer or sooner than before. It used to be 2030, 2032. Now the projections are changing. Why? Because the financial conditions are changing. That's why. So it's interesting. And Arthur Hayes, close to, he's a rich guy. I don't know, billions, maybe, I don't know, hundreds of millions, I don't know. I think billions, but he confirmed my thesis. I'm gonna share it with you as well. I'm gonna share that with you as well as the interview we did with Anthony Pompiano. We're gonna get into that as well. Appreciate you guys checking in. Do me a favor, hit the like button on the way in. That would be really, really cool. We always have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. Let me know in the chat, in the live chat, if you want to hear that flirtatious, if you want to hear that Flirt Networks by Flirtatious anthem. Let me know if you want to hear that. I will pull that up so we can check it out. What's going on, Pookie? I appreciate you checking in, bro. Life is good in the streets. Miss Crypto Seats is back home finally. She was gone for a minute. She's back home finally. You know, she is back home finally for sure. Pookie's like, let's hear it. I gotta tell you, I'm gonna do it after, how about I play it after my initial conversation with ChatGPT. Then I'll play it, then I'm gonna go to my post on X about that conversation, which is the dumbed down version of the conversation for sure. I gotta tell you, those two videos that I watched about Bitcoin to $1 million. It was real fascinating. All right, so let me I refresh CoinGecko. Let me go to market real quick. We're gonna go back over this conversation between me and ChatGPT about Wall Street, Flirt Networks, and the digital asset. XRP. Yeah. All right, so that is refresh. According to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap is 3.43 trillion. That is down because I think at one time it was 3.59 trillion. Nope. What do I want? I want this. Bitcoin dominance says almost 64%, 63.93. And this is like an active chart, live chart. So yeah, 63.94%. For the dominance, that's almost 64%. This is good. We want to get it up. It's going to kind of hang at 62, 64%, I think. And then, yeah, we're going to have a look and see for sure. Bitcoin is trading at $105,297 again. Bitcoin is up 24.5% in 30 days. Ethereum is trading $2,400, or up approximately, and it's up 52% on the 30-day. XRP is trading at $2.39, up 15% on the day. On the 30-day, on the 30 days. Ethereum. Solana is trading at $168, and on the 30-day, Solana is up 26%. Dogecoin is trading at 22 cents. On the 30-day, Doge is up 42%. I like to track 30 days to see where we're kind of trending. SOE is trading at $3.83, and on the 30-day, it is up 80%. Yeah, interesting. By the way, all the haze kind of shares my 90-10 bucket as well. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So all the haze is a really smart guy. So Hyperliquid is kind of doing its thing. I don't know what it's going to do in the future. I didn't participate in that, but I think somebody, yeah. I don't know how he did that. He got in on hype where they were still airdropping it, got $100,000 worth from airdrop farming it. Anyway, there it is, fam. That's the market, and the market is doing what the market does. Let me find my conversation with ChatGPT here. I just asked a question, and we have a conversation. So I said this here. Gonna get into that. Appreciate you guys checking in. Do it. Hit the like button on the way in. Flare, Wall Street, XRP, and Flare Network. So I asked this question to ChatGPT. I said, so there's a financial structure or product called Depository Receipts. A company called RDC, Receipts Depository Corporation, has 4 of these receipts. One for Bitcoin, Solana, one for ETH, one for XRP. 4 of these. Flare Networks is helping to build a decentralized prime broker on-chain, on Flare Network. I asked ChatGPT, would a prime broker like Hidden Road deal with or have interest in depository receipts? So again, I want to make sure I emphasize this, right? Because all of this whole conversation started with when I posted a video, somebody commented on my latest video that I posted on X, and they commented speculation, right? They commented speculation. Let me share that. Let me see if I can find that cookie, because I responded to it. with uh, right here. See if we can find it. Some people like it. So here's my video. You guys saw this video here. Building network, Flare Networks is building the infrastructure, not for hype, but to let institutions bring financial products to XRP. This isn't speculation. It's already happening. I know you guys. Oh, I did a video of this. Yeah, it's a 15-minute video that I uploaded the other day. And here's their full breakdown. Watch this if you hold XRP, right? So there's it. And Oversold said speculation. So I responded and I said, not speculation. Receipts of Depot, which is the Receipts Depository Corporation, right? Depository Corporation, RTC, launches the XRP depository receipts. Ripple purchases the prime broker Hidden Road. Flare Networks is helping build a decentralized prime broker. Okay? A decentralized prime broker, right? The Depository Receipts Corporations creating depository receipts for BTC, SOL, and XRP signal clear institutional demand for compliant wrappers of top-tier crypto. So that was from ChatGPT. Okay. That was my breakdown from ChatGPT. So I wanted to go through this full text so that you kind of get the thinking kind of back and forth, and you can see what I'm adding and what I'm not adding. The conversation is just fun. So I said, would a prime broker like Hidden Road even deal with or have interest in depository receipts? So you see where I'm getting at. There's a traditional TradFi product that one of its offerings is XRP receipts, depository receipts. TradFi product institutions are comfortably familiar, intimately familiar with this TradFi product, right? So I want to know the company Ripple that bought a prime broker, would that prime broker have interest in this TradFi product? See what I'm saying? And a TradFi product. And the fact that Flare Networks is building a decentralized prime broker that'll be on chain, right? I'm tying the three things together. Excellent question, CJ. And the short answer is yes. A prime broker like Hidden Road would almost certainly have interest in depository receipts, especially as they pertain to crypto assets like Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and XRP. And here's why. What are depository receipts? Depository receipts are TradFi native financial instruments that represent ownership of an asset held in custody. TradFi native financial instrument that represents ownership of an asset held in custody. Commonly used for cross-border equities, like ADRs for U.S. investors, right? Got it. And crypto depository receipts can be structured to represent custody crypto assets, be tradable within regulated markets, act as a bridge between crypto and traditional capital markets. Remember, Ripple just bought Hidden Road, right? So these, the Depository Receipts Corporation creating the DRs for BTC, ETH, Solana, XRP signals clear institutional demand for compliant wrappers, right? Now, why would a prime broker like Hidden Road care? Why would a decentralized prime broker on Flare Networks care? Prime brokers deal in complex asset access. Their job is to facilitate trades, custody, leverage, and access across various asset classes, right? DRs give them a regulatory green light to serve clients who want exposure to crypto, but must stay within compliance frameworks. And by the way, there is a ton of them that want exposure and they got to stay in these compliant frameworks. Tons. Michael Saylor was saying this. All right, he says they can offer DRs as collateral or tradable assets. DRs are great for collateralized lending derivatives, structured notes. We talked about that the other day with Solana strategies, structured notes, and cross-margin accounts. A broker like Hidden Road could bundle finance or clear trades involving these DRs, especially for large hedge funds or institutions. The cryptalized decentralized exchange could bundle what do I want to say? The decentralized prime broker on Flare networks could bundle finance or clear trades, including DRs. Do you understand where I'm going? See how I'm laying it out? So, hedge funds or institutions that don't want to hold raw crypto. Ripple plus Flare makes it even more relevant. Ripple acquiring Hidden Road and Flare Networks building an on-chain prime broker positions this entire stack for programmable, compliant DeFi infrastructure. If DRs become tokenized or interact with FXRP/FAssets, it's possible to represent depository receipts on Flare, collateralized with ROUSD or US dollar tether 0. Offer on-chain borrowing and lending and clearing with TradFi exposure. The TLDR, yes, a prime broker like Hidden Road. A prime broker that's not a decentralized on Flare would almost definitely be interested in depository receipts, especially if those receipts represent top layer crypto assets, are compliant and custody backed, can be integrated into a tokenized, yield generating, or collateralized structure, which Flare is helping enable on chain. This is exactly the kind of convergence between TradFi and DeFi we've been talking about. Now, I've asked questions about the Receipts Depository Corporation, RDC right here. I've asked ChatGPT and Grok about this particular thing and the different offerings that it has. This was the announcement in February of 2025. Receipts Depository Corporation launches XRP depository receipts. This, by the way, is a DTCC eligible securities. DTCC eligible securities that offer ownership of digital and alternative assets. This is a very, very familiar, comfortable, intimately known TradFi problem. And Flare, in my view, is going to help do this and bring it on chain. I mean, think about it. XRP depository receipt, TradFi product. Ripple just bought a prime broker who is going to be massively interested in this particular TradFi product. There's 4 of them there at the Receipts Depository Corporation. One's Bitcoin, one's ETH, one's Solana, XRP. Which one do you think they're going to have? I don't know. Maybe the most interest in. Do you understand? And Flare Network is building their version. They already said it. He said it in an interview. They're working on it right now, currently. Right? On chain and decentralized prime. We already have witnessed Flare Network's commitment to the asset XRP and ecosystem, right? You understand? Uh-oh. I heard someone saying my sound is not great. Hold on. I did all that talking. Hold on. Is that better? I hope that's better. I did all that talk on the intro there. Saying no sound? It should come back in just a second. I muted it while I was moving around. Wow, I went through that whole thing there with that. I was reading my conversation back and forth with Chat GPT, but I'm going to share my post as well, and it'll be kind of like the TLDR of this conversation. But my thought process was essentially, since the guy had commented, no, this was all speculation. I thought, let me do this. I thought, let me put something together. Right? Because did the video here. Flare Networks is building the infrastructure, not for hype, but to let institutions bring financial products to XRP. This isn't speculation. It's already happening. This dude said speculation. So I wanted to point out the things that we know that are actually in place have happened and or have happened. Not speculation. The Depository Receipts Corporation, Receipts Depository Corporation, RDC, a corporation offering Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP depository receipts, which is a TradFi, well-renowned TradFi product, right? Structured product, right? Ripple purchased the prime broker Hidden Road. So those are two things happen. Flare Networks is building out a decentralized prime broker. He said it in first. He talked about it, and then he said they were doing it, helping someone do it on Flare Networks. So that got me to get to ChatGPT and kind of look and go further down that rabbit hole. Right? Got me going down that rabbit hole. So let me share my version, if you will, from ChatGPT, shortened for the viewers here. So right here, I said, why would a prime broker like Hidden Road care about depository receipts? And I tagged Ripple and Flare, obviously. Institutions already recognize 4 crypto assets via the depository receipts. These are TradFi friendly wrappers. And here's why a prime broker like Hidden Road, now acquired by Ripple, would care. Wall Street's depository receipts equal Wall Street's compliant bridge to crypto. They represent custody-backed assets. They can be traded, collateralized, or cleared. They fit into regulatory frameworks. They're TradFi's comfort zone. They are TradFi's comfort zone. Enter Hidden Road, a prime broker that serves 300 plus institutional clients, clears 3 trillion annually, offers crypto plus FX plus fixed income access. Now owned by Ripple, with Flare building a decentralized prime broker on chain. Flare is positioning to make XRP productive by way of XRP plus FAssets. Onboard real-world TradFi instruments, allow smart contracts to interact with wrapped financial products like depository receipts. That's a gateway to on-chain capital markets. If those depository receipts become tokenized, they can be used in lending, staked, or collateralized, wrapped into structured products. A prime broker would absolutely want access to that liquidity flow. In particular, a prime broker that Ripple owns. So would Hidden Road care? Of course, because Flare is helping build the rails where TradFi infrastructure plus XRP plus DeFi equals interoperable finance stack.
And depository receipts are one of the keys to scaling it. To me, it's one product. There's going to be many, many more. You need the rails in place, right? And I believe wholeheartedly that you just don't forget that Flare is using the XRPL. I think that Ripple and Flare networks are not competing with one another, but in fact are completing completing one another. That's what I truly believe. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button on the way, and that'd be really, really cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. I apologize for that. I didn't have my mic with me. I was on there sounding off without my mic. Appreciate you hanging in there with me, guys. Mix said it sounds like I got hacked. I was like, thanks for letting me know, bro. What's going on, Thing? Triple G Facts Vets in the building. What's going on, bro? Appreciate you checking in. So that was my again, that was my back and forth with ChatGPT, just kind of pondering um where we're going, where we're headed, kind of piecing together um why would Flare Networks mention that they're helping to build or building out a decentralized prime broker. Why is that important? How do we get TradFi and DeFi? It's being worked out. It is being worked out. It is being worked out. Ripple's doing their part. Flare Networks is doing their part, and where they can come together, they're going to come together. Where they can come together, they're going to come together. Come together. You understand? That's how this is exactly how I see it being played out, for sure. Yeah, being played out for sure. All right, so word on the street. I shared the market again doing what it does. I share that. Word on the street is Bitcoin's going to get to 1 million. No, let me share this one first. Um, the minting rate has been reached. The minting cap for FXRP is done, baby. It's done, Pookie Pookie. I hope you got some mints in. It's over. It's been reached, I should say. Now, I don't know if they're going to raise it. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's been reached. It says, well, says Hugo Filion, the cap has been reached. Remember that the cap exists to limit risk because it is a new protocol on both Songbird and, more importantly, Flare. It will increase over time. Now, by the way, you can redeem if you're interested in, you can do some redeeming, you know, but that mint cap got reached, 750,000. It got reached. Let me see something here. Hugo, let us know. It got reached. Right. So got reached. And again, you got people who are not staying in the know. The blog post talked about the blog post from here, from Flare Networks talked about that initially they want to cap it at 750 for testing, all this different the hope, hopefully avoid some scams and all that type of deal like that, right? Remember in the blog post they mentioned it. Let me see here. Let me see something. Someone said something here that I want to cover right here. Thought Hugo said no cap. Will the cap be increased or is there a vote? Right? So, not in the know, not staying up to date or what's kind of going on, you get these kind of things like this. And they can lead, unfortunately, to negative stuff because they're not in the know. They didn't read the blog, right? About what's going on here. But the cap has been reached, my friends. It's been reached, which is pretty cool. Let me see something here. Let's see what it's saying. Let's see what it's saying. Um, Yeah, right there. FAssets over 749.82. I guess that leaves a little. I think. Yeah, leaves a little bit to mint, but not much. So it's been reached. Pretty cool. Circulating supply, 54 lots. Oh, that's F Doge. 17 lots available. 17. 17's available. One lot at a time, I guess. And you can redeem those, of course, to make more available. Yep. So there that is. It's been reached, fam. It has been reached. There's 17 available. You better grab one, Pookie Pookie. Better grab you one of them. I did too. I meant it too. I meant it. I haven't redeemed. I did provide collateral in addition, some Songbird as collateral in these pools here as well. You can continue to do that. But I have done that. 401%, 139%, 227%. So there's that. Yep. So I still the same rewards earned today, 22 cents. So yeah, that is really, really cool. I'm going to share this video here in a second. Let me welcome some of my people into the stream. What's going on, Dennis Newman? How are you, bro? Soulflow Digital, what's good? Appreciate you checking in. Mix checked in. Norseman checked in. Happy Sunday. Dennis says, knowing Flair and Songbird have never seen a full bull market. What's your price prediction? I have no idea, bro. I have no idea. I do think the market's going to do a little something between now and July, maybe end of July, maybe mid-July. I think we're going to have a summer kind of thing. If you're going to have a summer something, it has to be, maybe it's just the month of August is the summer doldrums. Maybe it leads and rolls over a little bit into September. And then it'll pick back up. But I expect it to start hammering a little bit. But as far as FLR, we have a launch on, like we're still, number one, we're still in, what do they call it? We're still getting the drops and all that stuff until January, right? So I don't know. I think that the bull market's still going to go until a minimum of Q1 of 2026. So it's hard to say. It's really, really hard to say. A lot of times, if you're weighted incorrectly, you're not getting the gains that you would hope to get because the weight's incorrect, right? We talk about it on the channel a lot. 90% in a 10% bucket. If you got things that are in 10% bucket in terms of the risk adjusted rewards, but you have it in your 90% allocation bucket, that's going to be a challenge. Let me look at FLR here for a second. So it's really hard to say. I do know that it's looking like ETH is going to begin to do its thing here in the next 6-7 days. What is FLR trending on 30 days? Let's take a look at that. But I can tell you this, people that own Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP, or a combination thereof, right? Feels healthy. Feels healthy to own them, have those. 30-day up 22% on the 30-day. So yeah, it's hard to say, my friend. All-time high 15 cents. I would like this cycle to reach the all-time high. But that would be nice to revisit that all-time high this cycle. But other than that, like it's hard to say because here's a caveat. If we get version 1.1 on mainnet, where there can begin to be a demand for the asset on the chain, that can be a game changer. That can be a game changer. That's supposed to happen. My internet's messing up. That's supposed to happen late summer. Well, I don't know. Late summer feels kind of like the same thing as when, I don't know, get this out before this initial phase of this bull cycle, which is, it's going to be May, June, and July, or are they going to get it out as the market is cooling for a period of 60 to 90 days before we have the rest of the phases of the bull cycle? So getting back to or hoping for some other stuff. Just remember, we were less than a penny for a minute, right? So we were less than a penny for a minute. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Internet driving me crazy. So I would like to see us get to all-time highs again. That would be really nice. That would be really, really nice if we can get back to all-time highs. So hopefully, I know we've done a lot of live streams around us in the Crypto Caesars home, readjusting the portfolio because we felt like we were overweighted the wrong way. What's going on, Keyless? Pookie says, I just minted 2 slots. Ah, nice. Right. So price prediction, I don't know. I hope we get back to the all-time highs. Again, a lot of it depends on launching on mainnet, right? You want to have a product on the mainnet that's creating demand for the asset. Which means it's being used. It's in a utility phase. That's not happening until late summer. It's not happening until late summer. So once we get that going, we'll have a good idea, right? Once you get it on mainnet, and you, instead of using Songbird for collateral, people are using FLR for collateral and minting this FXRP, then we'll get to see. Then we'll get to see. SoFlow says I'd focus on the utility rather than price. Yeah. Then we'll get to see what's kind of demand is this mechanism that Flare Networks has going on right now for FAssets. We'll get to see, right? The minting and the redeeming and being able to provide collateral in these, and I don't know when the core vault thing is. I think the core vault thing is now. Yeah. And so how that all synergistically works together, we're going to see. We're going to see. I know, I don't know what happened to the Songbird price in the last 2 weeks or so. We need more of a 30-day deal. Keyless, I think we hit the lottery with Flare. Yeah. So you're going to see. Lady of Crypto checked in. What's going on, Keyless? How are you? So we're going to see, right? But we're gonna see. I don't know. I don't know about the price. If we can get to an all-time high, I think a lot of people will be happy for sure getting back to 15 cents. Some people are saying, well, that's only a 2x. Well, not for a lot of people. For a lot of people, getting it back to all-time high of 15 cents is 10x or more, if not more. If not more, for a lot of people. 10x. I mean, it's a 7x from current prices, right? It's 2 cents. But that's nothing to sneeze at either, right? Nothing to sneeze at either. All right, let me share this very, very interesting video on this whole $1 million Bitcoin price thing with a genius guy in this space named Arthur Hayes. I'm sure you guys are familiar. He did an interview with Anthony Pompliano that I thought was very, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. He's a really, really smart guy. I'm trying to see where I want to start. Very, very smart. Very, very smart. No, not the tariffs and the trade deals. Why is it time to buy everything? Let's do that. We'll start there.
All right, Arthur, you're the legend of Bitcoin and crypto. You also understand macro better than most people. You recently tweeted, America, it's time to buy everything. That seems like a pretty good directive to the market. Why is it time to buy everything?
So, I mean, obviously we had, liberation day and a week of financial, essentially.
Well, maybe not.
Panic. And in the wake of that, a capitulation. Not a capitulation, but a pivot from a maximalist tariff position.
Okay, we can't do it. We can't do it.
Trump said, okay, 90 days and everybody except China. Besson came on.
We can't do it. I mean, the internet's
on TV and said he's got treasury buybacks. I'm going to make sure that the markets well functioning, and that was the bottom of the market. And what's crypto? Bitcoin's up. I don't know, 35% since then. ETH's up 50%.
Yeah, it's not copywriting. But he says something in this video. I wish I could share with you guys, but unfortunately I can't. Not only did he mention the $1 million Bitcoin by 2028 and the reasons why, which you're just something that you definitely want to check out. The reasons why is financial conditions, which is what Raoul Paul and Julian Patel and those guys over at Real Vision have been saying. Keela says CZ even thinks it had $1 million. The financial conditions are going to make it more and more conducive. I don't know if you remember Pookie or Dennis SoFlo. They used to talk about $1 million Bitcoin in 2032. It used to be the talk, like the $1 million Bitcoin in 2032. But it's changing now. Now it's 2028. It's because of what's going on in the markets, the bigger picture, the financial conditions. Now it's 2028. But in that video, in minute 47 of that video, just so you know, if you want the link to the video, let me know. I'll put it in the chat. But in that minute 47 of the video, he says what we've been saying. Well, he said a couple of things in that video. Number one, he conforms to the crypto Siege's 90-10 rule. He's 60% Bitcoin, 20% ETH, and then 10% other stuff. So his is 80-20, right? And in minute 47 in the video, he says, I use the altcoins. This is what he says. I use the altcoins. He runs a hedge fund. He runs a fund. I use the altcoins to pay my staff, to pay my bills, to pay everything else, and then I buy Bitcoin. So he's using the altcoins to buy more Bitcoin. He's using the alts to buy more Bitcoin. Right? This is why I keep saying to these some of the maxes out there that bought Bitcoin in 2014, 2013, 2012, 2011, and 10 and 9, Or you get you got the other end of the BTC maxis who come in with 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 million dollars in net worth and buy Bitcoin in 2022, in 2021, and 2020. And they're all saying those two opposite ends of the spectrums are saying the same thing. Yeah, just buy Bitcoin. Just buy some Bitcoin and yeah, life's gonna be great. And just get the 0.1 and life is awesome and all this other kind of stuff. And that may be true, but they're not saying how. They're not giving you a better way to get to it, right? They're not giving you the better way. And in my view, is taking advantage of altcoins and their multiples to get more Bitcoin, because you can turn $100 into 1,000 faster using altcoins. You can turn $100 into $1,000 faster using altcoins. Then you can turn in $100 into Bitcoin into $1,000 of Bitcoin. Right? You got to take advantage of the altcoins in the cycle. Then you got to take advantage of the cycle and how the cycle works in the bear cycle. How do you take advantage of the bear cycle? It's real, real simple. You got to buy the high valuable networks at the best price in preparation for the following bull run, where you can the 5 and the 10 and the 20 and the 30 X's, the 5 and the 5 and the 10 and the 20 and the 30X, that money to buy more Bitcoin. Not financial advice. I know that's what we're doing and we're going to continue to do, especially when you think about $1 million Bitcoin in 2028. Right? Just remember that Ethereum is not Bitcoin. Ethereum is not Bitcoin, but Arthur Hayes has Bitcoin and Ethereum. And yeah, 60%, 20%. Yeah. It's basically a makeup of the 90-10. He's doing 80-20. Right? So yeah, it takes a while to get what this market is and how to really leverage it to the max. How to leverage it to the max. And I don't know if you guys caught this, but recently Raoul Paul was being interviewed. And I apologize that I can't play this video, but Raoul Paul was being interviewed by the guy from When the Shift Happens. And he asked him, like he always does, very poignant questions. And one of the questions is, I know you said you're going to be taking some lifestyle chicks and lifestyle, right? Exiting out, doing some things. What are you going to be exiting into? You're going to be in some stables or some Bitcoin or some whatever. And I thought for sure he's going to be saying, yeah, I'm going to just exit into stables and I'm going to travel for 90 days or 60 days. Or I'm going to, buy more NFT or something. This dude said, Bitcoin, stablecoin. He said stablecoins or Bitcoin. I don't know. I said, you're going to exit into Bitcoin? And that just got me thinking about that. Why would he be saying that? And then he said, yeah, because I don't know that Bitcoin does its typical retracement of 55 to 65%. I thought, is that the same thing as saying when we used to say $1 million Bitcoin in 2032, now we're saying 2028? In other words, because of financial conditions changing so rapidly, that maybe Bitcoin doesn't pull back like it has historically. It still pulls back, but not that 55 to 65% that it has historically done. So yeah, interesting. You know what I mean? So you know what I'm saying? What's going on, Spiker Hound? So that's, I thought to myself, wow, that's interesting they said. Then of course, I went to Chat GPT and I'm like, blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. This is what I'm thinking about doing. Da, da, da. And Chat GPT literally said, because I think I may have mentioned my thought around leveraging altcoins to get more Bitcoin. I thought I might have mentioned that in the thing and my strategy. And maybe I asked what it thought or whatever. But here's what I do remember it saying. It said, take 2x profits, take the, when you're laddering out, take your 2x profit, look for the 5x profit, take the 5x profit, look, and you're right, take the 5x profit, look for your 10x profit. And then parentheses, it said into Bitcoin, not stable coins. I'm like, what? Yeah. I mean, that's ChatGPT. No one has to listen to it. But I thought it was interesting that was said. We say on our channel all the time, Spiker Hound, we believe that Bitcoin is the savings and the altcoins are the investment tools. They're the investing instruments. And eventually, over a period of time, I just heard about that today and listening to the words, over a period of time, we're going to get a Mag 7. What's a Mag 7? It's an asset that you can hold long term. We call it the Mag 7 in crypto. Right now, it's the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. I would add XRP as a Mag 7, except it hasn't gone up and to the right of the network adoption curve. Got a lot of people who hold it, but part of going up and to the right of the network adoption curve is people on the chain using it. Project after project after project after project after project, and people using these projects. You don't see it. It's not on the XRPL. You can't look at it and say, yeah, but it's going to be a new financial system. I'm talking about I'm talking about up and to the right of the network adoption curve, becoming a Mag 7 asset. Is it around 90% bucket? Yes. But Mag 7, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and one could argue Solana, because it's gone up and to the right of the network adoption curve. The big test for Solana is probably going to be this bear cycle and how it fares. But if I was a betting person and I look at the ecosystem of Solana and I see twice as many billion to $3 billion projects or DApps than I do on Base Chain, Coinbase's chain, that tells me it has a really, really good shot to continue to build and grow through this bear cycle, which would make it its second bear cycle to go through. That's a good litmus test. Right? It's a good litmus test. So if it's right on that border of becoming a Mag 7, for me, I want to have some. I don't want to have to keep starting over to own it. I want to have a foundation of, I don't know what number. Maybe it's 20. Maybe it's only 10. I don't know. Depends on where you are. But I want to have a good foundation because it's proving itself out in the network adoption curve of becoming a Mag 7. In addition, it has a nice risk-adjusted reward rate to it, right? It's over 100% year-over-year return for holding it, right? That's pretty good when you average it out, just like Bitcoin, 50%, I think. Ethereum, 70-something%. Solana's 3 figures, 100-something%. So that's the deal. Keela says Mag 7 sounds like a clip, CJ, right? So it's kind of how I see things. That's really kind of how I'm looking. So $1 million Bitcoin. We got Arthur Hayes saying $1 million Bitcoin 2028. We got Arthur Hayes saying, confirming for the crypto siege and family that you use the altcoins to buy more Bitcoin, right? Because you can turn $100 into $1,000. And there's strategies for each cycle, bull or bear. and there's strategies within the cycle, bull or bear, right? You know, maybe one day they start talking about ETH at 1 million, but right now they're not. Right now, the asset that's on pace to $1 million per is Bitcoin. And corporations and pensions and endowments and countries, the asset in the strategic reserve mentioned is Bitcoin. And there are other reasons as well. There's other reasons, but up and to the right since its inception, you know, that's an interesting thing that I think people don't talk about enough. If Bitcoin's up into the right, higher highs and higher lows since inception. And I think not enough people talk about it. And again, I get it. Most people in the space came in that 2017 bull run. They saw the altcoin stillionaire age go crazy. And like myself, lost sight of the foundation. Became enamored with the 10x, 20x, 50x of the altcoins and forgot the foundation. Spiker Hound says, we are the ultimate game. We are in the ultimate game with only a few $1 trillion, indeed. When other markets learn the hard political way, yeah, we will pump like old Gary. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So there it is. That's kind of $1 million Bitcoin is something, some food for thought. So I hope you guys caught the beginning of that, of the stream where unfortunately the audio wasn't great, but I asked ChatGPT about the prime broker that Ripple just bought called Hidden Road and whether it would be interested in a TradFi product called a depository receipt. And it said 100% it would be interested in that TradFi product. And then I thought, well, didn't Flare Network say they're building out or hoping to build out a decentralized Hidden Road? So if the traditional, brick and mortar prime broker Hidden Road would be interested in depository receipts, wouldn't the prime broker that's built out on decentralized prime broker be interested in that as well? You know what I mean? And Brother Crypto says, I don't need $1 million Bitcoin necessarily. Just give me $1 per flare. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Everything to me for FLR is going to be dependent upon how they launch on mainnet. This FAsset, how they execute, how it launches on mainnet. And this is version 1.1. That's going to be a really, really good in terms of the value of the network, how the network's operating, this particular protocol on the network and how it operates, and the mechanism for the protocol, the FAsset protocol. How is that working? What is it doing? How are people participating? Is it faring well? Are people able to mint and redeem? Is the collateral and the core vault working? Is it all synergistic? All that kind of stuff. Mark L says XRPL, right? Now, people keep forgetting. I don't know if they don't want to hear it. Hugo keeps talking about there is an element to what they're doing that is on the XRPL. It's on the XRPL. So whether Flare is going to be using the XRPL for settlement or whatever, just understand right now what they're building out is with the protocol managed wallets It's on the XRPL. And I think the way they got it going on, I think it's great because they're going to be able to build these PMWs for every chain. You're going to come in through Flare Networks and you're going to be able to go out to all the chains. And I think that wallet that maybe AI worked or TEE, whatever, however it's going to be managed on each individual chain is crucial. It's key. And I think it's going to be awesome. You know what I mean? So that is going to be the key for sure, is how that operates. It's gonna be interesting to see. I know there are people out there that got a ton of FLR and they definitely want to get that FLR at $1. But for me, it's not the price, it's the value in that protocol. The value of that protocol is off to an awesome start with Flare Networks, is off to an awesome start with TVL. New wallets going up and to the right to the network adoption curve. They're off to an awesome start. They got a great vision. You just got to execute on it. And if they kind of capitalize on the blockchain for data, if they capitalize on TEs, the protocol managed wallets, if they capitalize on and execute on some stuff, the FLR token, because the network is valuable, right, is going to become valuable as well. But it's not Mag 7. It's not Mag 7 yet. We need to get it to Mag 7. So value, Brother Crypto says the value of the protocol will drive the price. Definitely get it. I'm with you, CJ. Yeah. So yeah, that is it. Oh, so, again, Arthur Hayes, $1 million Bitcoin. Oh, I didn't show. Fred Krueger says the same thing. Let me share this from Fred Krueger because it's a different perspective. And I thought, isn't that interesting? Let me share this one before I hop off here. Right here. Bitcoin will hit $1 million on Monday. This is from ChatGPT. Fred's doing some stuff here. But anyway, he's a BTC. He's not a BTC maxi, though. He likes Solana. Bitcoin will hit $1 million on Monday, July 12, 2028. Analysis by ChatGPT AI. Bitcoin's price history shows a clear rhythm and how long it stays in each range. I don't know how is that a rhythm, though, if the days are changing like that. Anyway, he's got the days here, $0 to $10, certain amount of days, $0 to $10 to $100, certain amount of days, $100. You see it there, right? So it says average. These are 0 to 10, 10 to 100, 100. You get it. So the next range is 100,000 to 1 million. So with these past days, it comes out to an average of 1,076 days per range. The next leg is 100,000 to 1 million. And it's likely shorter than 1887, but longer than earlier steps. So 10,000, 100,000 was 1887. AI estimates 1,160 days. Bitcoin crossed 100,000 in May 2025. So add 1,160 days, that gives you July 12th, 2028. Pattern says we're on our way. So, but anyway, 2028 is close enough for a lot of people, right? Yeah, I think he is. I think you could say that. He's known for the altcoins, and Arthur Hayes is known for altcoin purchases and a lot of degen stuff. He's a big time. Some people say gambler, but yeah, so there it is, fam. Again, you can check me out at crypto_CEEJ if you want to see my post on my conversation between ChatGPT about Wall Street, Hidden Road, and XRP and Flare. It was very, very interesting back and forth. Why would a prime broker like Hidden Road care about depository receipts, which is a TradFi product? It's right here. If you guys want to check it out, it's at crypto_CDJ. All right, fam. Arthur Hayes is agreeing with me with my pretty much aligned with my 90-10 and using altcoins, leveraging these altcoins to get more Bitcoin until we get another, maybe we get another altcoin definitively in the Mag 7. Right now is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana is right on the edge. It's right on the edge to a Mag 7, I believe. Now I've been putting them in there in the 90% bucket. But the Mag 7 is it's another thing right now. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana right on the edge. I think when you get 8 or 9 different dApps on one chain that's doing $1 billion or more in TVL. Do you know that Ethereum does not have as many billion dollar projects on its chain where it's only on its chain, like one chain? Did you guys know that? Ethereum doesn't have as much as Solana. Got a lot of projects, but in terms of the $1 billion projects, Solana has more. I'm not talking about you take a project like Aave that's on 40 chains. No. And Ethereum happens to be one. I'm talking about your project is only on on Ethereum. Only on Ethereum. Your project is only on Flare Networks. Your project is only on Solana. And you reached $1 billion in TVL. Solana has more than Ethereum. Just go to DeFiLlama.com. You can check it out. We got to give Ethereum the Mag 7 because it has so many projects and so many builders. People, they're hopping on, BlackRock on Ethereum. You know what I mean? That type of thing like that. Ondo started on Ethereum. Now they're building out their own chain, right? So you have to give it that for it to be continue to be in the Mag 7 for sure. But that is a very, very telling sign in my view for Solana to have 8 projects only on Solana, which is another interesting thing, but just one chain and 8 out of their top 10 or 20, $1 billion in TVL or more, and they're just on Solana. They're not somewhere else doing some other thing to get to that $1 billion. I think it's very, 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 very telling when you can create $1 billion in TVL just by being on one chain. And you can do it more than once. And Solana has done it with 8 different projects. To me, that's very, very telling. It's certainly not mean you go out and buy Solana now. But in terms of the Mag 7, in terms of the 90% bucket, it's very telling. All right, fam, do me a favor. Hit that like. If you didn't get a chance to hit that like button on the way in, please do so on the way out. That'd be really, really cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. And if you happen to be in that 55% or so of people that are hanging out, listening to and watching the Crypto Siege, do me a favor. If you've been enjoying those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. Again, I apologize for the audio earlier. Again, you can go to @crypto_CJ to see that back and forth between me, Chat GPT discussing Wall Street, Flare Networks, XRP, and the prime broker Hidden Road, recently purchased by Ripple. All right, guys, I'm going to end this live stream like I do all of my live streams and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, or perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.